I have 32 war wins and the enemy clan has over 500. Luckily I know how to use ChatGPT to beat them. If you are still searching attack strategies from YouTube in 2025, then you are wasting your time. ChatGPT is the new way to go. Let me show you how. Here is the first base I have to attack, and as you can tell it has a huge PP right. Wait a second. Someone is attacking me? No way. My main account is getting destroyed. Oh my dear. Please have some mercy on me with those scary looking Gucci necklace wearing bluebirds, along with the hero who has to use 2 navigation devices in order to find targets. No, but in all seriousness, my guy has definitely watched this video because no one with a right mind would use Lavaloon equipment. Anyway, back to the topic of 3-starring bases with ChatGPT. So how we are going to beat Tusher is simple. First of all, write a short description what you need along with some additional information like what town hall do you have. Then drop a screenshot of the base you are attacking. And there it is. Not only you have an army composition for pure flexing, but also you have a friend who is boosting your confidence to face a scary opponent like Tusher. The given army was in fact so good that ChatGPT didn't even find it necessary to fully fill the army camps. While I was preparing the army, I noticed my guy was back at it again with his ED spam. That made me wonder how in the world did he manage to get 500 war wins. Left absolutely clueless, it was finally time to take out Tusher's base, where all the villager girls were running around and panicking as they knew exactly what was about to happen. If you are wondering why did I use only 1 lightning even though I have 4 of them, then it's simple. ChatGPT told me to drop 1 lightning spell directly on the air defense because it's exposed and squishy, and also if you wanna be extra, drop a rage for fun and watch the spell flex. Unfortunately I went with the 4 lightning spell option, so I couldn't see how the rage spell flexes on his base. Therefore I had to continue with the step number 2, 3, 4, and 5 for that optional swag. In the end the attack was so good that Supercell promised to give me 1 million gems if I win this war. Next up I had to attack Zero. His base had maxed out walls, so I had to make sure both Mighty Morsel and Power Pancakes are activated, or otherwise I might risk losing my war win streak and 1 million gems. What's the army and deployment strategy, you may wonder? Well, initially the AI obviously suggested me an air army to ensure my troops won't get stuck behind those decorative toothpicks. But ChatGPT and I were feeling goofy that day, therefore we went with a brand new attack strategy called Bone Storm. Yup, that extremely serious 3-star army includes a strategic spamming of your troops and spells until Zero turns into 3. This time Supercell was so kind with the post-game rewards that I was about to receive that Drake's Lost Orange slipper. But in order to receive my rewards I had to win this war by beating the next base. Therefore I had to pull out Lionel Pepsi account. By the way, thank you BRZGhost19 for suggesting this name. I know it's 6 months later, but here is your shout out. Anyway, now I trained an army, placed Lionel Pepsi who was about to receive some Thai massage, dropped a ton of troops that played a huge role whether I will triple this base or not. And in the end, Lionel Pepsi scored the perfect goal to knock out the last difficult base from the enemy clan. No, but in all seriousness, until now it's been a walk in a park because of those cute little bases. Contrary to that, here is a Town Hall 12 and not a Town Hall 6. And the problem is I have to attack it using my Town Hall 10 account. What's even worse is that right when I needed my friend and attack strategist ChatGPT the most, he had left me to die. Luckily I had another email account that brought back the more intelligent version of artificial intelligence. Well, maybe not quite. At least he was able to analyze the base for me and even draw me a pathing diagram. After staring at this picture for 5 minutes, I realized that for the first time in my life of playing Clash of Clans I felt as dumb as I did in physics class when the teacher started explaining quantum mechanics. Then I gave a closer look at the GUI clone Lavaloon army composition to find out my friend Chatty has started to have such confidence in me like no one else, as he wanted me to use less troops. Anyway, then it was time to execute the attack. First I did the Super Archer Blimp Snipe from 10 o'clock just as told, and then ChatGPT asked me to pop the blimp between the Town Hall and Eagle. At this point I wasn't sure whether the AI doesn't know where 10 o'clock is, or the bomber skeleton seemed like an eagle to him because obviously I couldn't fly over the Town Hall towards the Eagle artillery. After very successfully cloning an army of balloons, it was time for step 2. to funnel and hero dive. And yet again Lionel Pepsi was receiving a back massage from the dragons. This time he didn't enjoy it as much, and despite his best efforts to run away, his legs were too short to close a gap. Now that the funnel has been created, ChatGPT told me to start lay low from the opposite side. Yup guys, we created a funnel sacrificing all the spells, heroes, and CC just so we can drop the lava hounds and balloons from the opposite side. As genius as the last part was, I absolutely love the next bit. Use freeze on Scattershot or Warden statue if it hits hard. First of all, Warden statue, it seems our boy Chatty hasn't exactly been keeping up with Clash of Clans update notes. And secondly, Warden hits hard, he hits about as hard as a pillow in a feather fight. In the end this attack was an absolute embarrassment, so I complained to my brother from another mother about everything he had done wrong in order to get better advice next time. But did he give better advice? Well, obviously not. Instead he tried to convince me to become one of the ED spammers, which I did, just for one attack because it was the longest 2 minutes of my life watching them charge up one zap like they are solving math equations mid-air. Then I once again tried to educate the AI to give me more accurate armies along with equipment suggestions that turned out to be rather interesting. Royal Gemstone boost damage and range. Cloak of Shadows, great synergy for surviving core. I have no idea where is ChatGPT pulling these equipment names out of, probably his ass. At least Rage Vial is a valid ability, but what is Iron Fist gear up? It sounds like Giant Gauntlet, but the description is just something from another universe. I mean, I will try to assume what he wants me to use is Rage Vial and Giant Gauntlet. Since Royal Gemstone is supposed to give range, then it could be Giant Arrow. And Cloak of Shadows will be Giant Puppet, because after this big lad spawns Queen is pretty much in shadows. For the Warden, Eternal Tome, of course. And Vital Tome must be Healing Tome, but we don't have it at Town Hall 12, so I will just pick the Rage Gem. For the army we have Yeti Super Bowler Smash, which should be executed like this. Warden Walk from 10 o'clock. Wizard and Baby Dragon Funnel from 2 o'clock. And the main push goes from the middle with Yetis, bowlers, and heroes. Then we have to use jump spell to the core. Rage spell before scatter shots. I have no bloody idea where does he sees the scatter shots, but okay. I will use the rage spell. Not gonna lie, it really looks like I might be able to beat Town Hall 12 with my Buff Bizos account, which is the same Town Hall level. Next up I sent base number 6 to the artificial intelligence, and immediately it understood it was the same base as before. So it gave me the exact same army to use with the same deployment strategy. Even though this time most of my army walked around the base from the right side, then the result was still the same. An easy 3-star. Half of the bases tripled. It was time to crank up the difficulty by attacking a max Town Hall 13 with Town Hall 12. While scouting I noticed this base has a hole right next to the Town Hall. So I thought it might be good idea to notify ChatGPT about it as well. But little did I know it was a terrible mistake, as now I had to start my attack with a blimp cheese. And what's even worse, he wanted me to use ED spam once again. And I said, okay, only this time. Therefore I deployed a balloon to check traps, and luckily I managed to trigger the tornado trap. But after that everything what could go wrong went wrong. Because I did check the air traps according to AI, but ground traps were still there that almost immediately killed all my super archers for an astonishing 0% damage. Humiliating moment like this unleashed my inner anger to cause some destruction right in the core with my BK, but even that didn't achieve anything useful. At this point onward you can probably already tell it was a proper shit show, and it was the worst attack so far. I was so disappointed at ChatGPT for convincing me to use E-Dragons that I politely asked him to never suggest those troops to me again. That's why next up he told me to use Super Bowlers with a Vamp Stash on the Queen and Dagger of Doom on Royal Champion. Obviously AI had ran out of his brain cells for the day, so after adjusting the army and activating Super Bowlers I executed the attack by funneling the upper corner with Warden Walk and right side corner with some Yetis and Wizards. Once it was done I sent in the main army, and at around 1 minute mark I had few heroes and a single Super Bowler alive that for my great surprise actually tripled the base. Since ChatGPT's younger dumber brother was here and couldn't read a single picture, I switched accounts hoping the smarter sibling could help. But turns out even the upgraded AI doesn't know how to read pictures. Not only he thought this is a Town Hall 13, but also he suggested me these hero abilities. I don't know about you guys, but I have definitely developed a stage 4 brain cancer from seeing his poor ass hero ability and pet suggestions. But the good thing is going through this experience has taught me a lot of patience, love towards bluebirds, more patience, and the never giving up attitude towards a good friend, because eventually he will understand exactly what you need. Bruh. Okay, never mind what I just said. Since Chatty was no help when it came to heroes, then I picked just whatever I wanted and started the attack. As you can see, the game plan is precision 2-star with 3-star potential. Because I already had to start using my own brain cells to pick hero abilities, then I thought I would also lure out the CC and kill it altogether, even though it wasn't part of the game plan. Once the defending Electro Dragon was farting lightning bolts, it was time to follow the plan by Super Archer blimping the core of the base. For some really weird reason, the Super Archers did destroy most of the buildings around them except the air defenses. Yup, and I have to use air troops. Anyway, I did what he wanted and once again it worked. That made me realize whenever I spoon feed ChatGPT exactly what I want, he suddenly turns into a professional war strategist. At this point I had a little over 2 hours left to take out enemies' top 3 bases, which meant I had to quickly ask my advisor to help me delete this Town Hall 16 box base out of existence. And yes, it should be easy peasy lemon squeezy as my guy Patty is hella rushed. But so am I. And I have Town Hall 15 account right here. In the end, of course, I received the best high quality professional advice what Archer Queen equipment to use. And this very calculated army composition that includes troops like 1 goblin, extremely important, 1 wall breaker, very useful, and many other troops. Then I lured the CC, poisoned few birds, and then I took the risk of dropping my blimp into this black hole. That actually turned out to work pretty well as the Super Archers managed to take down the Town Hall. Then I spammed in the dragons, and it was another 3-star. After few successful attacks, my brain was actually able to take a vacation until ChatGPT had to face this base. In fact, this base was so scary that AI initially decided not to give me a response, and when he did, he forgot about the pets. So I told I have pets and then he went silent again. At this point it was obvious that Town Hall 17 was causing ChatGPT some serious dementia problems, so I had to remind him again to give me a response. Luckily he did update the army comp with pretty relevant hero pets, but what he did not still understand was the hero equipment. Therefore I had to ask him what some of these equipments are. Immediately he told me there is actually no such item as Hog Rider's Hammer, which gave me the impression that he is either trolling me, or it's Sleepy Joe fresh out of the White House grinding responses at ChatGPT to pay the bills.
I was gonna put him
But there was still one thing missing from his responses, which is the epic equipment. For some weird reason ChatGPT never gave me those, so I let him know I have all the epic items unlocked, and that was his response. Since when is Giant Arrow an epic equipment? Since I couldn't be bothered to teach this AI the entire Clash of Clans hero system, I just went ahead and attacked the base with the army he suggested, and it flopped. Then I asked him for a better army, and it also flopped. At that point I figured maybe the brain behind this AI had completely burned out, so I switched to another account, and this time I told just in case he wants to use the WWE event troops. And as you can already expect, he completely messed up the housing spaces. And again, eventually I started to get pretty angry. After trying my best to educate ChatGPT, I gave up. Even though the common approach to easily running over the bases was to use that cane invisibility trick, then I decided to go with a different path by funneling the corners, spamming everything from the middle, and then praying it will be a triple. Since these were some really OP troops, they wiped the base without even breaking a sweat. And now it was finally time to prove that ChatGPT is miles ahead of the average ED spammer whose entire strategy consists of dropping everything and hoping for a miracle. So I funneled, I spammed, and I won. Despite winning this war, it was quite a painful experience when it comes to explaining every single detail over and over again until ChatGPT gets everything correct. Therefore, to make things easier, I made this template for you guys. Just copy it to your notes, fill in the form, And each time you are out of ideas, how to attack ChatGPT can give you some ideas. If that also doesn't work, then the best advice I can give is to claim +5 IQ like all these people have done. How, you may ask? Very simple. Just click that subscribe button. Instant delivery, I promise.